But I went back to night school. I went back to night school for 5 years, and I started off by getting my O-level maths, because you needed that to do anything at all. And then I did another couple of O-levels, and then I did what was called a BTEC National, and I think we still have something similar today. It's kind of the HND type thing. And all the time I've moved jobs in the civil service, but still at that point, truly the most painstakingly tedious jobs in the world. One job I had, the first job I had after the yacht, it was with a civil service company called area called the Office of Population Census and Surveys. Now, as you can imagine today, the Office of Population Census and Surveys is kind of computerised, but I am old and I'm like pre-computers. I know, you can't even imagine it, can you? Pre-computers. My first, I did have a laptop, well, not a laptop, it was called a portable computer. And has anybody ever seen a Singer sewing machine? You know the big sewing machines? Well, that was the portable, it was like that size. And I used to walk around Liverpool with it thinking I was absolutely great because I had a portable computer. It was like when mobile phones were bricks, you know, it was those days. But I digress. So I had this job. Now this job, it was the Office of Population Census Services as a clerical assistant. I went in, and I had, well actually, what I had looks a bit like what you've got here, except it was small. So I had like a little shelf rack with all these holes in. And for 18 months, oh, I had 6 weeks training for this as well. This is how long you have to be trained to do this sort of thing. 6 weeks training, where every time, in the country, you know, every time you move, well, when you're born, you get registered, and they send details. Back in the day, you send a little card from the Office of Registration to the Office of Population Census and Surveys. And when your parents first took you along to get registered with the doctor, they'd create a little card, and they'd send that off. And that will get you all registered up with your number. And when you die, they send your death certificate there. And every time you move in between, your little card used to be sent from one doctor's to the other, where they'd update records. And the card would come back into the Office of Population Census and Surveys. This was literally pieces of card. You can imagine, for computers. Literally these cards. So every time you moved house, you went to register with a new doctor. They'd get the card from your old doctor. It would be sent into the Office of Population. They would make a little note in a little register, and they'd send it to your new doctor. And they had rooms full of these big registers, where every person had a line in the register, and they did these teeny little notations all the way across every time you moved. And then at the end, of course, big red thing, because you're dead. It's like, anyway. So, but to get these things, they come in, and in order to get them into the registers, because everybody is registered out, you know, all the way through your life, you still are, it's just that it's a bad computer now. There's a lot. They send them in, and I used to have to sort them. And I used to sort them alphabetically or numerically. And I used to get performance about how fast I could do this task. I got trained 6 weeks, and I used to get this pile of cards like this, and I'd look at them and I'd go, and I would sort them up, and then I'd pile them all again. And I did that for 18 months. It was horrendous. There was no other way to describe it. It was horrendous. So, through all of that, of course, realised this was never going to work for me. I was never going to be able to do that sort of thing. Carried on at night school, gave me more and more motivation to carry on at night school, get relevant examinations, and eventually I moved out of that job and into health and safety, and there I went to a commercial business. But at the same time as I moved to commercial business, I got into my last year of my BTEC and applied for what was then Polytechnic. And I was offered a place at Liverpool Polytechnic, which is now the John Moores University, provided I got a distinction in this particular place. So off I went and did that. So I specialised in my final year in finance because I found that I could do people-entry bookkeeping quite easily. It seemed to twig with me. So on the basis of sticking in what I could do best, that's what I stayed with. I did business studies. And then I left and I went about trying to get a contract. I decided I wanted to be an accountant. Went about trying to get a contract to become an accountant. Proved out to be very difficult. Back then you had what was called the top 10 firms. I think it's a smaller number now. I think it might only be about 4 of them. There was 10, and there was 7, and there was 6, and I think it's about 4 now. None of them were interested in me. Basically, I didn't have A-levels. I hadn't done a traditional route, and it was still very traditional back then. O-levels, A-levels, degree, we give you a training contract and thing. Okay. But one company did pick me up. And they were in the top 10. There's a company called Pamcare Forster. I don't think they actually exist on their own anymore today, I'm not sure. And looking back, I might say this was my first real time where I would say what I could call now, you understand now today, a leader. Because I'd been turned down and turned down and turned down. Okay, because I just wasn't traditional. I didn't have the GCSEs, didn't have the A-levels, I didn't have programming out. But I was quite bright, I was clearly ambitious, I was very motivated, but not interested. Didn't fit this vision for me. Except one man gave me a job. The training partner at Poundcare Forster, whose name I still remember today, and this was a long time ago, Brian Ricketts, he gave me a job. He gave me a job in one of the top 10 accountancy firms in the country. And he gave me a job because he had vision. Now, if you met him, okay, you wouldn't put him down as a great leader. You'd sit there going, he's never going to shake the world, he's never going to, do anything great. But at the end of the day, what is a leader? Is it just somebody that has an impact on other people's lives? Okay, for me, yeah.
What's his name again?
Brian Ricketts, his name was.
How you spell his last name?
R-I-C-K-E-T-T-S. So for me, he was, because he changed my life. He changed my life in ways I can't even begin to describe. He gave me the chance that nobody else would. Sat in his little office and he saw all these people come through, all with the relevant O-levels, A-levels and degrees and everything else, and then he saw me. And he listened to what I had to say, and he listened to what I wanted to put, and he gave me a job. So for me, he made a difference. So I sit there and say, is that part of being a leader? Is that part of being a leader? It's just about making differences and making a difference on other people's lives. And who knows how many other people Brian made a difference to, actually. But if you met him, you wouldn't have him down as, a great man. You wouldn't come across that way. He's a very, quiet partner of an accountancy firm. So that was the first thing for me. And actually, another one for question for you all, you don't have to answer it, but in your heads answer it. And think back to when you were all at school. Okay? Can you all think about the one teacher that you still remember even today, the one teacher that inspired you to do something, the one teacher that made you think, yes, I can do that today. Some of you may have had more than one, many of you may have more than one. But somewhere, I would guarantee pretty much everyone in this room has got one person at least from school that they remember that's made a difference. And trust me, you will remember that person all your life. So they're great leaders, because they've made a difference. They've made a difference to you and what you're going to do. So that was number one. I then went on for my career. I went on after that. I did my training contract with Poundcare Forster. I never wanted to stay in practice. I moved out into industry, and I began to work my way up the management ladder. And lots and lots of jobs. Obviously initially all in finance. I went inside of, just finance, finance assistance, finance control. Eventually, I went to work for an American corporation. And for me, it was a big turning point for me. Because this was still quite a long time ago. And there were still quite a lot of prejudices around. There still are today. There's less today, but there's still plenty there. But there were quite a lot of prejudices around. And back then, some of those prejudices were a bit simpler. I was a female from Liverpool, basically. So that's straightforward. Yes?
No.
Oh, yeah. So, I was a female from Liverpool. So that was enough to stop me getting looked at in certain areas and certain jobs, It didn't stop me, but it was enough to stop me getting looked at. But I went to work for an American company. Now, in America, I went to work for this American company in Aberdeen. I applied and long story, I decided to move to Aberdeen, like we do. Decided to move to Aberdeen. And I went to work for this American company. Now, my American colleagues, every time they introduced me to anybody, always said, oh, this is Debbie, she's from Scotland. All my Scottish colleagues used to go, oh, God. Because they can't tell. So they don't care that I was a Scouser. It didn't make any difference to them. And they certainly were slightly ahead of us on the whole gender equality. And they didn't really care that I was a woman either. Basically, in America at that point, they were still a bit ahead of the game from the way they approached business. And it was about your effort, your motivation, and whether you're really prepared to go for it. It didn't really matter about anything else. So that was great. So I went to work for them. And